Hey, what's going on? It's Michael. Yo, welcome to the Yo Show. Well, actually, it's not the Yo Show. It's Comics on Canes. Let's see. That's how frustrated I am today. That's how frustrated I am. Uh-oh, there he is. Finesse Mitchell. Just logged in. This is how frustrated I am, is that, I'm going to bring Finesse in, and then we can see if we have a 3-box for this. Hold on one second. I want to try and make this look decent. I don't want to look like Miami on defense all over the place. All right, here we go. That's Finesse.
Okay.
Rudy, you're Forrest Shaw right now.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Now, Finesse, you're listening to the podcast. We're trying this new thing. Is Rudy feeding back?
No.
All right. Is Michael feeding back? Can you hear him at all? Is there an echo? You can't hear me? Oh, man.
No, I'm just messing with you.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Finesse, God damn it.
No, Michael's cool. You're cool.
All right. So, look, this is Comics on Canes. I'm glad I didn't do this podcast last night.
Yeah.
I was enraged. Me and Finesse got in fights over the phone.
Whoa, what were you guys fighting about?
Well, we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Because Finesse knows he's wrong, and I will prove my point once again. But, I was just mad. I think all Canes fans were mad. We were all mad. And this is a place for Canes fans right now. Leave any comments. We want to talk. We are live. When I say we are live, we are live. Yes, I know. Florida State fans were so happy we lost. Florida State is cleaning house today. They fired the entire defensive crew. They fired some offensive people. So they're going through it. Look, I want to start with the good, because a lot of times as fans, we lose focus of what's good about the team. So because I felt I was wrong a couple of podcasts ago, I was too aggressive. I was too hot with the audience. I went after them right after the show. I was going after the audience that subscribed to this show.
Mm-hmm.
I was vicious, Rudy.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I have a calmer head today. So what I want to say is, look, we're 9-1. That's great. 9-1. 9-1 is a great record, right, Finesse? We 9-1. It's all about the year.
I'll take it.
We'll take it all day long. Second, I want to say, Pitt lost. So now we control our own destiny again, which is a great thing. Which means if Miami beats Wake Forest and Syracuse, they're in the ACC championship game. That's a positive.
Yeah.
If you would have asked anybody at the beginning of the year, Finesse, I said, because I was being bold, that we're going to go 12-0. But if you were to say at the beginning of the year to any Miami Hurricanes fan, your team is going to be 9-1 at the end of 10 weeks, I think we all would have took it, right?
If you would have said 8-3, yeah. If you however we finish, but 9-1, incredible for a Miami Hurricane football team in the last 15 years.
I think also that we all didn't know Cam Ward's going to be that good, right? Nobody knew he was going to be as good as he got. Nobody knew Miami was going to have the number one offense in the country. Number one offense in the country. Number one total yards in the country. I don't know after the Ole Miss game. If anybody's watching, can you let me know? Are we still number one in the comments? Let me know if we're still number one. I don't know. We might be second now. Ole Miss played a really good game. Big shout out to Ole Miss for crushing Georgia. Even though Georgia lost 2 games and got crushed by Ole Miss, but somehow they're number 10. We'll talk about rankings too. Let me write that down. Rankings.
I knew that was going to happen.
Oh, I did too.
Oh.
I did too. It's just the SEC bias, but whatever. So let me finish these. Still on their own destiny. And what I'm negative and positive about at the same time. The defense is not playing well at all. We all know that. We don't need we will harp on it a little bit during this show. But what I gotta say is, at least they can't get worse.
Yeah, they can.
You think they can get worse for this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Defense? Absolutely.
I agree. After watching that game yesterday, and especially that first drive, those first 2 big runs from Georgia Tech, I thought, man, they got their hands full today.
Yeah.
First off, we knew they were bad, but I didn't know they were that bad.
I don't want to jump into the bad yet because we're gonna die, but I feel like it only can go up because to me, it's like when a team.
The only reason I say it can get worse is because we beat teams that don't have a good defense by 50 points. We had been averaging a 50 burger for 4 games almost.
Yeah.
The fact that we can keep teams from somehow in that 25 to 35 point range and not have a team drop 50 on us the way we look, that's why I say it can get worse. You can easily play an offense that can just continue to. I put it to you this way. I saw LSU play Alabama. If we have to face Alabama and Jalen Milroe, 50-point season. They are dropping.
But I don't think. But see, I will tell you this, Finesse. And you know me, I try not to wear these cane glasses, man. I don't want to be a homer. But I honestly feel Miami is that team that can beat any team in the country any day and lose to any team in the country any day.
Yes.
I really feel that. And it was just because, like I heard a lot of people talk about like putting up all these points. And Miami couldn't do this and that with Georgia Tech, right? But what people got to understand, and I've never heard any of these pundits say, is that Miami offense usually puts the other team in so much pressure where they change their offensive scheme. Like when our defense comes up at the end, like last week, it had 4 stops in a row, right? At the end of the game. And everybody's like, well, our defense steps up when it needs to. Not really. Because what happens is they're not playing their game plan anymore. They're trying to catch up because they know they can't keep up with scoring with us. That's what happens. Their offense changes. The other teams, Lance Guidry said a long time ago, everybody comes out and does what they do, like from the other team. And if it goes well, they keep doing it. If they don't, they make halftime adjustments. Mm-hmm. So what's happening is they're going into halftime, not making adjustments. I'm talking about the other team on offense. Then we start scoring. Then their offense has to change to keep up with our scoring, which makes it easier on our defense. Georgia Tech never had to change anything. And what was so upsetting, and all you people leaving comments, we're going to get to them because we're live. We're going to get to all your comments. Thanks for blowing it up. Really appreciate you. What happened was Georgia Tech never had to change their game plan. And that was bad for Miami. Georgia Tech ran for over 200, maybe 275 yards.
They had 175 yards. They had 175 yards in the first quarter.
Said what?
They had over 100 yards in the first quarter.
Yeah.
In the first quarter.
Yes. So my thing is, total game 275 yards. Ran the same play, that jet sweep. Anything to the outside, they were just eating. Just eating the whole game. They did not have to change their game plan. They didn't have to change it. And when they brought in the quarterback to throw, the throwing quarterback, you knew he was going to throw, and we couldn't stop that. 3rd and 18. Mm-hmm. 3rd and 18. You know they're throwing. We have a safety on a slot. A safety can't hold a slot. And let me tell you something. I saw people as soon as that ball was completed on that 3rd and 18, because number 1 was the closest one to him and tackled him. But that was Zaquan Patterson. Number 20 had that coverage and he slipped. That wasn't on number 1. Even though number 1 didn't play great. That one was not on number 1. But it was because of bad coaching. It's because of alignment. Why do you have a safety playing a slot and expect him to come up and take that crossing route? All right, so let's go ahead. I know you got a lot to say. Go for it.
The safeties were out of position on that play. It's 3rd and 18. You have a 20-yard cushion already, and you're backpedaling. You were nowhere in the play as a safety when that guy came and caught that 3rd and 18 pass. And Zaquan slipped. Mish, for whatever reason, you know how safeties wave them off like you got him. No, Zaquan did not have him because Zaquan was nowhere near the play. And by the time the ball was in the air, that's when he slipped trying to react to make up another 7 yards just to get into the play. the reason they didn't have to adjust the jet sweep and the reason that Haynes King killed us 2 years in a row is the same reason when we face anybody with a mobile quarterback or 2 solid running backs, we might be in trouble, which is we cannot tackle and we do not have gap integrity, and our safeties take horrible angles week after week after week. Everybody doesn't have to be an Ed Reed. Everybody doesn't have to be a Cam Kitchens. But if you know you're getting killed on a jet sweep as a strong safety or a free, you have to go up there, and as soon as you see them go in that direction, whether you wrong or not, you go in that direction, and you breaking down, and you fill in the lane, and you hoping help is on the way. But you're going to be the first person there because that cornerback is going to be taken out by a receiver. That linebacker is going to be taken out by a tight end. That safety has to come and cut that off. I remember when we used to have Corey Couch and them coming off the edge, and we used to have these little badass corners coming off the edge and flipping people because they anticipated the play because they know what play they're going to hurt us with. But for some reason, our safeties sit back there. They watch the play develop. Maui Goa watch the play develop, and he's always 2 seconds behind, and everybody's running from behind.
Okay.
You're not catching Haynes King. Definitely not catching Jalen Milroe.
No.
Running back that we've been facing.
I would love to see the stat against Miami this year for yards after contact. Because how many times did you see somebody grab a jersey, grab a pad, grab something, and they would slip out and take off running down the damn field? I wonder, I'm sure there's a stat out there. I was looking for it now. I couldn't find it. But there's got to be a stat out there that says how many times we've missed tackles and just get blown out and never get another opportunity to touch.
Well, Finesse said a long time ago, Miami's DBs are like this. This is a whole game.
Yeah.
People running past them. That's it. People just this is their state because look, and I've accepted this, and I'm not trying to crap on anybody. I've accepted our DBs cannot tackle in space. We're not great tacklers in space. If we don't tackle them as soon as they get the ball, that receiver is going to dodge 2 or 3 of our people before we tackle them. And I've accepted that. What I don't accept is how the defense was confused the whole game. Nobody knew where they were going. The whole game I'm watching people point and nobody knew. And they're like, they even sent Kiko to hold a receiver one time. They were so confused.
Yeah.
That was freaked out by himself. Like there was like, how do you look, Gidry? That's all I'm saying. You know what you got, man. You know what you got. If you got a simple, this is week 11. Now we're going into week. You know if they can understand what you're doing or not. If they can't, you got to make it simple, man. You got to simplify it. No rush integrity. Like, stop doing all the stunts. If they can't, just have it. We have the athletes to beat them up front. They shouldn't need stunts.
Right.
They shouldn't need stunts. Go ahead, Rudy. Throw some comments and let's get to some people, and then we'll get back into it.
Yeah. We need to let Michael cool down for just a second because Vanessa, I'm in the room with him, so this is going to be a difficult day for me. Jason says, stop running stunts, as Michael was just saying, to twist when you're getting killed on the edge. Get upfield and contain the edge.
Thank you, Jason. Why is that so? You getting killed the whole game.
You want
the whole game.
You know what? You want to know what defensive coordinator Finesse Mitchell would have done after the first quarter? After the first quarter, not halftime, the first quarter. I would have said they're playing 2 quarterbacks. When the freshman comes in, they're throwing. When Haynes comes in, they're throwing or running, but 88% of the time they are running. Okay, we cannot contain the edge. Our D ends are standing up the entire game. You are not getting down in a 3-point stand.
Thank you.
You are late to look to see what's coming around that corner. We got DNs that are 6'4", 6'5". Stand them up on both sides, and at least you can see somebody stretching to the outside, and you can keep your containment. And like you said, if you're going to take that DN and then gap them into the inside on a stunt, the person coming on the outside can't see that man running that fast.
And guess what person you're expecting to hold the outside? The guard. I mean, like yes. A 3 technique.
Yes.
How is a 3 technique gonna supposed to hold the edge.
So if their receivers block like our receivers, because we have some dope blocking receivers. If their receivers block like our receivers, your safety has to come up and fill that gap. He has to be Troy Polamalu, or whatever his name was. Safety that come up, and they come up with a full head of steam, and they flipping people. So now you're scared to come around that corner.
Well, I mean, that's what teams are doing. Like if Gitry hasn't figured it out, teams, what they're doing is they're basically leaving the safety open, so he has to make an open field tackle. Like in that box, it was always 6 against 8 because of motion. Like it was our 6 against their 8 because they would use 2 running backs, and they would basically have the numbers on us every play and go, all right, we're going to block all y'all up front, and we're going to let your safeties come up and make the tackle. And they know we can't tackle an open field. And I'm not complaining about that. I'm not complaining about us not being able to tackle an open field because we haven't done it all year. So if you know we haven't done it all year, hey, let's make adjustments where, maybe we play a different defense that everybody's not confused. That's all I'm saying. Hey, Rudy, go through the comments. If you find anything good, just throw it up there, right?
Yeah, I want to see what you guys think about this one. This one comes from Jimmy. National title hope gone? I mean, dude, we're throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
I don't think, look, if you're not a homer, if you're realistic and not a homer, I don't think you really think Miami's going to win the national championship. I always think they could win one game in the playoffs.
Right.
But I mean, I never really felt like Miami's going to win a national title. I think they could go. I think with the defense right now, I don't know. But this was like a couple weeks back, right? Because even though they were winning close games, the offense was so explosive that you were like, yo, who can contain these guys? I don't care who you are. And then we saw them only score 23 points. So now the reality is kind of set in. It's like, oh, a team like Georgia Tech that can run the ball, dominate, take 35 minutes off the clock, you get less possessions. Oh, they can do that against us. Oh, so yeah, go ahead, Finesse.
This was a total team loss.
100%.
The only people I thought was decent was special teams. And what I mean by special teams, I mean kickoff. It was a total team loss. You saw Georgia Tech play us last year. They kept everything in front of TVD. He looked horrible because you had to be accurate. They gave us the underneath. And for whatever reason, Shannon Dawson did not stick to the run. Sometimes you just can't air raid it and you're going to get 40 points. Sometimes you're going to win 21-14 because you're holding the ball the majority of the time because they really couldn't handle Martinez. They really couldn't handle Fletcher. Fletcher and Martinez and A.J. Allen should have taken over that game.
Well, that's my point too. Why aren't they putting A.J. Allen in? You needed speed on the outside. It's so infuriating that they keep putting in the same 2 running backs that run the same style. But they're doing good, but you need to switch it up, man. Like we've been talking about this all year. A.J. Allen is a waste on this team. And I don't want to be like the A.J. Allen super fan, but it's obvious. Every time he's in, he makes something happen. And we're not even testing it. We're just putting in 2 dudes. And no disrespect to Fletcher and Damian Martinez. They are amazing, but they're the same type of running back. There's nothing different about them. Why not put up a change of pace back? Like, it's so obvious to me.
I felt like Shannon Dawson and I noticed this in the Florida State game. I said, wow, they really locked up our receivers. I got to give Florida State credit. For the majority of the game, they really held us in check. And then when it came to Georgia Tech, they just kept everything in front of them. But we were still trying to run those same routes. So I'm like, okay, why don't we just do screens and shallow routes and just hope we break a tackle? X is super dope at doing that. George, Sam Brown, they can all break tackles. Quick slants until they come up some. And when they come up, then we go over the top. But if they're going to stay back there, then we got to run the ball and just consume the clock and keep their offense off the field.
Well, I will say this, man.
Strategy.
Well, I will say this. I mean, we dropped a lot of passes that we normally catch that were big pass. Sam Brown, that one he dropped, that was a crusher. And then let's be honest. And I say this, people dogging Cam. Like, I wish he could do the check down because he had Arroyo wide open on that check down. I mean, this dude was alone.
Yes.
And he looked right at him.
Yes.
And we know that Cam, I don't even want to call it hero ball. Because to me, it's not, it's Cam being Cam, right? He sees a check down, he's like, no, I'm gonna make something bigger happen. You can call it here, it's Cam. And Cam is Cam, and Cam got us to 9-1. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, no, he need to be different. No. Cam is Cam, and this is what you get with him. Right. But that check down to Arroyo and that 4th down and 3 when Restrepo was wide open right in the center of the field, looking right at him. All he had to do was basically underhand it to Restrepo.
That's 2 weeks in a row that we've watched Cam play, though, where he second-guessed himself and just held the ball. When he just used to be so instinctual and just, like, let that shit rip. But this is, to me, 2 weeks in a row watching Cam hold the ball way too long or not scanning the field. And I think this is a theory. This
okay, give it to me. Let's talk.
This is my theory. Receivers talk to their quarterback all the time. I'm open. We saw X become the most decorated receiver in the University of Miami history last game. I felt like this game, Cam, instead of running the offense through X and Horton like he normally does, said, I'm going to get Sam Brown some touches this game. And I think Sam Brown's route running is not as crisp and as timely as Horton and X. So in that first couple of series of us trying to go to Sam Brown, it threw the offense off. We kept 3 and out. And that kind of gave Georgia Tech the ball to take up 9-minute drives, 7-minute drives, 14-minute drives. And now we're going into halftime with damn 7 points. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I felt like Cam purposefully, because we used to think TVD used to be like, oh, I got to get X going. And we would get mad at that. Man, spread the ball around. But I really feel like if you watch that first quarter, I'm like, dang, why is he going to Sam Brown so much?
Well, you know, just to jump on that point, and I like this is a theory, we're throwing it out. But, you know, like I was listening to a interview with X and he goes, hey, man, if you don't get the ball one game, if you block well, we see that and you're going to get the ball the next game. You know, Cam, the ball will find you. And I think Cam, on his part, he tries to get everybody involved. And you may be right about that. You may be right. But here's the thing about Sam. Sometimes he comes through, but a lot of times he doesn't. Yeah. And he dropped some big passes, man. And it's like, I see a lot of people say the Sam Brown experiment is over. I don't believe in that. It's just, you got to know.
I'm not saying that. I'm definitely not saying that. But I'm saying I'm not going to start the game off. I'm going to start the game off with a quick slant to Horton. I'm going to start the game off with something in the flats to X. I'm going to start with the screen. I'm going to run Martinez, or Fletcher. That's how I'm going to start my game out. You got to stop my old faithfuls before I just start trying to trick you. I don't know why Chris Johnson doesn't come in and run a wheel route like he used to do. I don't know why A.J. Allen doesn't come in as a change of pace. But sometimes I feel like we get so focused on what we know, even if it's not working, we don't make the right adjustments. And I was happy that X did that route that seems to always work in big times when he caught that touchdown pass.
Yeah, I think the times they were running the ball
usually runs that route.
I think when they were running the ball, Martinez did great. Fletcher did great. I wish they would have threw A.J. Allen in. But I feel like when the game's on the line with 2 minutes left, our team is so explosive. You could have took a check down. You could have even ran the ball a couple of times.
Ran the ball a couple of times.
You know, like I really feel that we could have got the ball down the field.
Yeah.
I do want to go into a couple of things people are saying. Because what's his name? I forgot. He has a big show on like YouTube, and he goes, the loss is great for Miami. Because now it's a reality check. I don't believe in that.
I'm on board.
I'm not.
I'm on board. I know we control our own fate and our own destiny, but listen, Michael, there is no way we're going to watch this team week after week and complain about our defense and not own up to the fact that, we about to lose a game. because you can't be Superman Cam every game. And that's just not how college football or pros work. You can't be scoring 50 points a game. And so I'm glad we got this loss. Thank God Pitt lost. And all we got to do is go on.
The whole idea, I'm going to bring Forrest into this too. There he is. The whole idea that a loss helps a team, I don't believe in that. If you're a coach or a player and you winning, but you see how you winning, you're not going to be like, yeah, we need to fix this. You think a loss is all of a sudden they're going to be like, oh, wow, all the stuff we've been talking about for 9 weeks, oh, it's real. You think, like, really?
No, I think a loss makes you say, this was bound to catch up with us. This is a slap in the face to Guidry, a slap in the face to Dawson, a slap in the face to Cristobal, and definitely a slap in the face to that defense who could not stop the run time and time again, even if you know that's what they're going to do. I don't know where our DNs are. I don't know where Tyler Barron is. I don't know where Ruben Bain is. I see Ruben making more tackles on the inside from the outside than anything else.
I think they need to do what you said, man. They need to stand up. Look, it's 11 weeks in. We are what we are. But I think it's a good idea. They need to stand those dudes up, man.
They need to stand some of those dudes up. And you really need to shoot Maui go up the middle sometimes on a 3rd and 18. Why you want to put him out there on somebody anyway? He's better served us just blitzing. Blitz Maui Goa, put number 21 of Basaint out there and run like that. The whole thing about getting to the quarterback is he doesn't have 7 seconds to throw the ball. He only has 3. And that's going to be an errant throw 9 times out of 10.
But let's be honest. We've had this same conversation where, why are you blitzing? You know your defensive backs can't hold anybody.
No, I ain't never said that. I've been telling you from the heyday of McLeod, Pickney, and the dude in the middle, 55. What was those 3 linebackers? Quarterman. I said, man, I miss those boys. I miss those linebackers because those boys could tackle in space. Those boys could blitz. And for some reason, our linebackers, man, and our DBs have just been horrible tackling people.
All right, I want to bring in Forrest. Forrest is joining the program. We love Forrest. Forrest always brings in the numbers, man. What jumped out at you, Forrest, and what type of numbers you're going to throw at us?
Well, I don't know how many pieces of incriminating photos Georgia Tech has on Mario Cristobal, but it's got to be something. Every year. This guy loses his goddamn mind when we play Georgia Tech. By the way, my voice is almost back. And maybe he's been making little tiny micro errors the whole year, and we just have been getting covered up because Cam Moore comes in and saves the day every day. But this game, like, I don't know what you guys have talked about yet or not, but 3 times we don't kick the field goal, like 3 times we're not going to kick the field goal, and then you're going to, let's go for too early. And then that timeout with 2 minutes left, I wanted to throw my computer into the water. Like, I was like, how do you come? I don't know if you guys already talked about this, but
no. I knew you would bring it up.
2-minute warning, or whatever they call it in college football now, and you're like, timeout. Oh, that's not going to come back to bite us. Oh, it did. That's the game. Like it's like. He's like, well, we can't stop the clock now, once we get the fumble. Well, after the fumble, we still have a chance, But it's like, I don't know why you have one of the best field goal kickers in college. Arguably he's going to be playing in the pros somewhere, and you're just not – there's 9 points you're leaving up. And how much?
Well, it was 6 points. 5. It wasn't 9. It was 6. It was
9.
2 field goals.
There's 3.
Was there?
3 different times we could have kicked field goals, and we went for it on 4th down. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, I think earlier Finesse gave his theory about Sam Brown and Cam Ward wanted to get him in rhythm early in the game, and that's what threw off the whole offense. Yeah. I want to give you my theory about Mario Cristobal right now. This is just something I'm making up, but I really feel in my heart this is happening. Mario Cristobal, for the first time in his career, is using the analytics. He's letting his coordinators coordinate without a heavy hand on them. I really feel he's doing that because after the game, Mario was not happy with some of the decisions that his coordinators made. I think for the first time ever, Mario's like, because he's got so much crap that he's not this, not that. So he like, look, I'm going to let these, for a year, let's see how this goes. I'm going to let them do them, and I'm going to sit back and be like the CEO. It got him to 9 wins. But when you don't run the ball on 4th and 1, when you got Martinez, and you throw a rollout pass to Cam's not throw inside, to Mark Fletcher in the flats, where that's coaching. Like, I don't care what that's coaching. That's a bad decision. And that is not a Mario decision.
That's a Shannon Dawson decision.
Coordinator do that.
That is a Shannon Dawson decision.
Well, let me get back to it. But let me just say right now, though, when you have the defense we have, and they've proven in the worst way for the past month plus that we need to score the maximum amount of points, take the points. I don't care if it's 3 points and not 7. And you've got, and I don't care if Cam's telling you, I got this, I'll score. Blah, blah, blah. You're the coach. Our defense doesn't stop anybody. This is like 28 points was a godsend for this defense. Like, to only give up. And it's like, and you're leaving points on the field every time. It's not even like a hindsight thing. So here you go. In the first half, there was we had one where we gave it up on downs at the Georgia Tech 23. Borregales is hitting that with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
Right. That's not even. Then we, right at the beginning of the second half on the 39, that's a little bit further. He can hit that. That's one that he hits. And then a couple drives later at the 22, it's like, that's not a hindsight thing. That's like our defense needs all the points we can get on the board. That's 9 points. The whole game is played differently. And to me, and the timeout thing at the end was just infuriating. And it's like, what are we going back to? Like, it's like Georgia Tech all over again, where you're like, you don't know how to do timeouts again at the end. Like, you just had your own. It's just infuriating.
Here's what got me, Forrest. They took a knee on us.
Yeah.
They took a knee on us.
Yeah.
I would rather them score another touchdown than to take a knee on us. Basically, that was worse than scoring a touchdown, because they were like, hey, we beat you again, and this is how you take a knee. Oh, my goodness.
I see people in the comments right now, hindsight's 2020. If the defense can't stop anybody, you have to go for a TD. If the defense can't stop anybody, take the points when you get the points. We weren't at the point in the game when we were down by 30 points. We're down by like 11, 8, whatever. Take 3 points. Just keeping that shooting, keeping that distance where we need to be. So when Cam gets it, he doesn't have to perform 3 miracles, because just 1 miracle at the end. Because that's what we asked him again, is like, all right, score a quick touchdown. Now you got it. We got 2 minutes to score another one. He fumbles. And it's like the margin for error is so thin then,
Still, how do you allow almost 300 yards rushing? We knew exactly. Yeah. It's coaching. Yeah. Look. I hate to talk about other blogs and stuff, the big Miami Hurricane blogs, because I'm part of them. I'm under a code name, so they don't know who I am. But I read these people that run these blogs, and all you people in the comments right now, you know the blogs I'm talking about. And there's this one, well, no matter what, he defends Mario Cristobal to the end. He defends the coaches, and he's always saying, well, we don't have enough talent yet to pull this off.
Bullshit.
But exactly. So ask them this, but they will never ask because they need access to the team. Why is it that teams with far less talent than us play better than us week in and week out? Why is that?
In markets where you're saying, okay, we're going to recruit the best out of Florida and the best out of the country, but then we're going to struggle with Georgia Tech.
You see Ohio State play Purdue yesterday.
Yes.
Beat them like 40-something to nothing.
Yes.
We don't do that.
Texas go down to Florida and beat the brakes off them.
But I'll take it a step back. Don't even go with Ohio State. So right after the game, now I'm scoreboard watching, because I got to figure out what team needs to lose. And thank God Virginia beat Pittsburgh, because we're like right back in it with that. But I'm watching the Clemson Virginia Tech game, rooting for Virginia Tech now all of a sudden. That game was 7-0 at the half. It was a blocked field goal by Virginia Tech. They returned for a touchdown. And Virginia Tech, way under-talented compared to Clemson, hung in that game until around the fourth quarter when it was like out of reach. But I was watching their defense jealous. I was like, man, if we had this defense that Virginia Tech has, but man, none of these talking heads would be saying shit. they'd be like, Miami's number one. Like that's
this is what gets me, Forrest. This
I'm
is
not
what
even
gets
talking
me.
about the top defense. I'm talking about Virginia Tech's defense. I don't even need the top defense.
So this is what gets me. Is everybody on the blogs are saying we don't have, and we've talked about this. Our defensive backs are not like terrible open field tacklers, et cetera, blah, 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 blah. We've gone through that. So why does every other team have better defensive backs than the Miami Hurricanes? Why is that? Let's talk about that. Why don't we have any defensive backs, but all the teams that have less talent got better defensive backs? Is that the players or is that the coaches? Because I keep going back to the coaching, where the scheme isn't right for them. If you got slow players, you need to play a different defense.
Listen, I'm going to answer this really quickly. There is a talent drop-off in our defensive backfield. Just a talent drop-off. I can't necessarily say it's the coaches. We've had 4 coaches come in the last 3.5 years.
Yeah.
This last guy seems to be recruiting great. This new crop we got coming in, they seem like they're going to be some studs. But if you put a freshman on the field who happens to be our best defensive player at the moment, OJ Frederick, and then you look at those other guys who've been playing in systems and in college football for 3 years, and this number 29 makes them look like they shouldn't be on the field with him.
Yep.
It's not coaching. It's a talent drop-off. It's a lack to respond in the moment and use football instincts. And we didn't necessarily. Let me tell you something. That Damari Brown would be in the play. He may not stop every play.
Yeah,
but he's in the play, and his ass would come up and pop you.
Well, I see Jimmy Benjamin said that's why Pickett and Hanks ain't coming here. Here's what I got to say about that. I say, well, if you look at OJ,
that would make me want to come and play.
They suck at defensive back. I'm gonna play my freshman.
That means I'm starting when I get off the bus.
As soon as I sign, I'm starting.
Yeah.
I would love to come in and go against Jaden Davis for the starting safety spot.
I mean, look.
There's dudes in high school when their season ends. Maybe they can play a couple. Maybe they can get in. Yeah.
Why don't we put in Markeith? Just put them in.
Yeah.
We have to let some people play some series to see what they can do, and not just on a play.
Look, Brian McKenzie says it's both. Yes, I do believe it's both. You're absolutely right, Finesse. The talent drop off, 100% correct. But for some reason, I feel like if you know the talent is that big of a drop off, you try not to put them into positions where you know their deficiency are, right? You don't put them in man. So we play a little. I mean, I guess you're right. It's hard to work with players that can't tackle an open field and you a defensive back. I get that. But there's got to be some coaching, because you can't tell me every team we play, they don't have terrible defensive backs too.
Right.
You think every team that we play, from USF to everybody, has better defensive backs than Miami?
I hate to say this, man. All you got to do is go to YouTube and watch these games and put your little finger on the mouse and hit pause and go back and watch again and watch every angle number 1 takes versus number 21, the other linebacker.
Yeah.
Watch how 31 Basank gets caught up on the inside and can't get off of a block. Watch how your cornerbacks never come up because they always either running with their heads turned or just being handled by a receiver. So it has to be number 7 or number 0 that comes up and fills the gap till at least the cavalry comes. But they can't even get a hand on a person to slow them down because their angle is so bad. And that's why people keep sweeping around the corners on both sides. No matter what side they go around that corner, nobody's touching them.
Look, I love a podcast. They're called the Orange Bowl Boys. And they got a dude that breaks down tape. I was like, they need to hire this dude to really break down the game for Miami at halftime. Because
what's it called?
He did this one take where, you know, the touchdown to the receiver on the right side of the field for Georgia Tech, how he just got inside position and caught it on the cornerback. You remember it's like their only touchdown pass.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yes.
Well, the safety, we had a high safety, and they had 3 receivers on one side. The safety never looks to the one receiver that's in man coverage. When the quarterback threw the ball, he's still looking to the 3 receivers. He never even looked at the other side of the field till the ball was almost to the receiver.
Right.
Like he safety lined up, 1 receiver over here, 3 over here. He automatically turns to the 3, not even looking at the quarter. I don't know who coached that. Right. He never even looked at the quarterback. The quarterback threw the ball, then he turns around and starts running the other way.
Was that the freshman? Was that number 20?
If somebody watching this, student of the game, that's what it's called. Dude is a beast. Whoever, yes, that student of the game, I love watching their film breakdown. I don't know who you are, but you are a beast, sir. Anyway, if anybody knows who that corner was or that safety was on that island, let us know, because it was Patterson.
Yeah, that sounds like a freshman.
Yeah.
You think your responsibility is to help contain the trips up to the left or to the right, but really your responsibility is keep your eyes in the middle of that damn field on that quarterback. And when he turns his head a direction, you take off running. And you know what Ed Reed used to do? Act like he was going the other way and then bolt the other way. And that's how he used to get all those picks, because he knew the quarterback was always trying to look him off. Well, so you can go a certain way and then turn back around and know where the ball is going to.
Here's what was interesting when you go back, and the quarterback never looked at, like, his first, when he caught the ball, he automatically turned to the one receiver. Didn't even look that way.
Yeah.
Didn't even look that way. And look, we got to play young. Look, I think Mario really wants to play a lot of young players. In the long run, that's great. But I also think they do too much turnover during the games. It's too many people to play. You got 1 year with Cam Ward. I don't feel like, what happened to starters starting and playing most of the game?
Look, unless somebody hurt, you're not supposed to come off that field. And then when you're giving somebody a spell on some water because you just made a tackle and your coach see you a little gimpy, we have so many D linemen. And I don't know why 99 is not starting. But 99 should be next to number 10 if he's healthy. You're supposed to have Barrow and Moulton hitting that middle. And I will put Mesidor back on the end because that's most effective. And then I will rotate Bain and Barron, because right now we have no production what we're doing right now. So I don't know. That's a Jason Taylor issue, but
well,
you just can't rotate DNs, and you just can't rotate the D line just to rotate them in and give everybody because you got to get a feel of the game.
Well, I saw this comment a lot. They were like, "What's happening to all the sacks? They hardly threw the ball." I don't know what this big thing about Miami getting sacks yesterday. Like they didn't throw the ball. How you gonna get sacks?
I don't care about sacks. Your DNs are supposed to contain. Nobody should. You remember the dude that played for the Dolphins when he played for us, Phillips?
Jalen
Phillips, the light-skinned tall kid. You wasn't coming around that corner on him.
No.
He's beating his block and he's cutting that off.
Go ahead, Forrest.
Yesterday, just for the stats, they're 11 of 16, Georgia Tech, throwing the ball. They only threw it 16 times for 99 yards. They averaged 6.2. Like they're not dropping back yesterday. There's no sacks to be had yesterday, so don't even worry about that. But to be fair, in those 99 yards, there was some. We talked about them, killer
3rd and 18,
killer plays. But what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different people carried the ball for them. 8.
It is the same thing they did last year. Georgia Tech runs the ball down your throat to set up the pass. And when they set up the pass, your DBs are so used to coming up and tackling all damn game, they're not ready to go back down coverage. So it's either going to be a pass interference or you about to get burnt. And they beat you every time. But
on 3rd and 18, just assume it's a pass.
Assume it's a pass. When the quarterback comes off the sideline, who's going to pass the ball because that's what they're putting them off the sideline to do, we should know that that's going to be a pass.
Okay, so this is out to everybody. You say this is a deficiency in the defensive back. We all agree with that. Our ends, I mean, these you're talking about 3 or 4 players going to the NFL that are going to play NFL ball. So
they're getting drafted.
I want to ask this again. Is it the players? Because obviously they're going to the NFL, right? Or is it the coaching? How you going to put like it had to be something? You don't think they said you need to set the edge? Is it the players just say, nah, I ain't gonna set the edge, not today, or is it the scheme?
Look. This is what I saw, and I actually smiled at this. We had 4th and 1 or 4th and 2.
Mm-hmm.
And we came up in our little bunched formation. And I said, oh, snap, we about to do that play we did against Virginia Tech, where we sneak out Arroyo down the middle. And they zoomed out, and their safety was probably 15 yards down the field in the middle of the field on 4th and 2. And I said, this mother effer done studied our tape. And to me, that's coaching. Because somebody says, hey, don't forget about that trick play. We don't need you up in the box on this 4th and 2 or 4th and 1. Stay your butt back there. And I was like, oh, okay. And I don't even think we got that first down.
No, we didn't get, no. Go ahead, Forrest.
I want to hammer this one more time, because the biggest difference between college and pros of everything is the kicking game. I just want to make that clear. I mean, when they say 22-yard field goal, you're like, I don't fucking know if this guy's going to make it. You know what I'm saying? But we have a weapon and a kicker. And I'm just going to say this I just want to say it one more time real quick. First time that we go 4 and out on the Georgia Tech 23, it is 14-10 Georgia Tech. Kick a field goal, it's 14-13, right? Again, now we get to the second half. We get to the second time when we go down on downs. It's 28-16 at this point. I'm sorry,
no, they could have went in the half 14-13.
14-13.
They could have went in the halftime 14-13 instead of.
And then they come back out at 14-13. Now when we're down, when we go down on downs again at the 39, you kick it. Now we're ahead 16-14. Like, I just think that is when you get in these tight games, and there's going to be tight games. We've been in all these shootouts all this year, but this was actually a tighter game, less of a shootout. I mean, our defense, as much as they were getting torched on the ground, still stopped them a couple times when we needed them to. And when football comes down to those inches plays and those 3-point that we're leaving on there, all that crap. And this game really reflected that, because I remember at the end, between the 2 timeouts, not 3, and the 5-point spread versus, even if we just kick one of those, now it's a 2-point spread. You know what I'm saying? Just one of those 3. I just feel like it's just really a lack of foresight on their part.
But I think for some reason it seems like head coaches, they're either all in on analytics, or they're all human feeling, like coaches feel. And I think Mario's in that, like he even said the analytics showed it. That's what we're gonna do. That's why he hired a side coach, right? He's all in on the analytics. It's not Cam Ward saying let's go for it. He's going to analytics.
I don't think it's Cam Ward. I think it's Mario Cristobal.
I think it's Mario
because of analytics. He said it after the game.
I understand it, but I'm analyzing it right now, and it's wrong. And Jimmy Benjamin can say field goal didn't cost the game.
No, but what I'm saying, Forrest,
pick one of those 3. Yeah,
I'm agreeing with you, Forrest. What I'm saying is,
I'm talking to Jimmy.
He's losing the human element of the game.
Yeah,
and just looking down at a piece of paper or listening to a side coach saying, "Oh, we should go for it." What is this? Well, here's the question. Do you fire Coach G? My answer is yes. Nick Saban said it best. In order to be the best, you have to hire the best. You will never, ever hear me on this podcast ask for somebody's job, because that's somebody's livelihood. That's somebody's family. I will never do that. But I will say, Mario, you got a problem. You've been had a problem for 10 weeks. We don't have Florida State problem, thank God. But we got a problem on defense. And when Guidry, and I go back to it last week, when Guidry came out and pissed off a lot of people, and all you people in the comments, you know what I'm about to say. Guidry said, well, we play good enough defense to win.
Yeah.
That is not a good answer.
Yeah.
That is a horrible answer. That's that's kind of like a FU to us. Like, well, we winning, so what? We winning. It don't matter how we play. We winning, aren't we?
Like we haven't been watching the games. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Let me tell you why he definitely has to do something. I'm not saying fire Coach Guidry.
Me neither.
It's all on Coach Guidry, simply because when we had TVD and we had Tyler Van Dyke, we were looking at Coach Dawson like, why you keep running this? Why you keep running that? And why you keep running? And then when he ran something else, might be a damn interception. And we was like, oh.
Now we knew. Yeah.
Now we knew. Oh, maybe it is TVD and it's not Dawson just being bland. Dawson was given a Ferrari this year in Cam Ward. And all of a sudden, we're scoring 50 points a game. That being said, that's a coach saying, I told you it wasn't me.
Yeah.
I just needed a Ferrari. Gentry, on the other hand, is our safeties coach and the defensive coordinator. And whoever Mish was before he came, and after that Florida game, he been looking like he's been not playing well. Number 7 has not been playing well. You can come off a bye week. They still look the same. You put in the freshman, he looked like them, except he can tackle better than those guys. And then you put on somebody that's a freshman from St. Thomas Aquinas who's been coached up and put him on an island, and he shut that corner. He'll shut that receiver down the entire game. So they got to figure that out.
Oh, yeah. One of our people in the comments said, Guidry also said, it is what it is. Well,
bro, that's just like Kamala Harris saying, I wouldn't change one thing.
About Biden.
That was the wrong answer, Kamala.
Wrong answer.
Have you guys talked about the new rankings?
Yeah, we're about to get in that. We're not finished venting yet, though.
You gotta be shitting me with this.
But I will say this. I do believe, and I just want to go back to this a second. I'm so happy to be 9-1.
100%.
I'm so happy you waited a day to do this podcast, so I wouldn't be as angry as you were.
Oh, man.
Because
you missed this part.
I'm proud of you. You've been banging on the table a lot, but
yeah,
you're not shouting at people. And I want to say that I do believe, Mike, I disagree with you on this. I said, we're going to take an L against Tech. They're going to run the ball down. I saw Georgia Tech in London play Florida State, and I saw their O-line, and I said, oh, my God, Georgia Tech has gotten better running the ball because their O-line is a beast. And as soon as I saw the first couple of series, I said, here we go. Yeah, here we go. As soon as he broke the first touchdown, I said, here we go.
But no, Finesse, don't maybe look. Me and Finesse was fighting the whole game because I was so angry. But one person named Finesse texted me and says, we got this.
I wanted to be optimistic. I said, I believe.
I'm the one that told you it wasn't going to happen today.
We had the ball with 2 minutes to go. I mean,
but before that, I saw it's like Ace of Base. I saw the sign.
Just counselor, I just want to say this. I said, yes. I believe. I didn't finish the statement.
That's true. We're gonna lose. I'll tell you this though. Look, we have a bye week. I believe even with the problems we have on defense, we're going to beat Wake Forest in Syracuse. I just believe we're going to. And then if we do that, we're playing SMU in the championship. And can we beat SMU? I don't know.
Okay, let's talk about this. Yeah. Let's talk about SMU. That goes back to my question I asked a long time ago. If SMU beats us, or if SMU plays us well, how are they doing better with players we let go because they couldn't start on team? How is other coaches getting more out of their players than Miami? And that's the problem we've had for the last 23 years. We could say we don't have this, we don't have that, but other teams are taking players that can't start for us, and they're being stars. So I keep going back to coaching, man. I don't know who to put the blame on. That's it. But why are players getting coached up better and striving in other places and not in Miami?
I don't know. He recruits linemen well. Maybe he doesn't recruit any of the, all these receivers.
What are you talking about? No, look, Keyshawn who's at SMU right now? You got Rashard Smith killing it.
I'm saying
you got Keyshawn. Who's the receiver that came from Miami? Who's the receiver at Miami that's crushing it? In the comments, please leave. Keyshawn Smith, right?
Yeah.
He's over there crushing it.
Keyshawn Smith, Brashard Smith, Jafari Harvey, and somebody else is over there from Miami.
And they can't play.
Our D-line.
They couldn't hit the field here. but they go to another place, get coached up, and now they superstars.
Bro, I could have swore I heard Thomas Gore's name.
Gore, yes.
Did he go to Georgia Tech?
He went to Georgia Tech and was part of that final tackle.
They just beat us. Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Because I was like, Thomas Gore, I know that name. He played for us.
Yeah.
Here's another one. But can we talk about the rankings already so I can bitch about them?
Okay, go ahead.
Because let me just say right now, these people are morons, whoever making this, because the bias is so severe. It's insane. Let's not even talk about Miami yet. SMU is 8-1. They've beat everybody in their schedule except BYU, who's number 7.
And they only lost to BYU by 3 points.
By 3 points. And they're 13 still. I'm not even talking about Miami yet. I'm 14. I'm just looking at the bias here, But to be behind Alabama and Georgia right now and Ole Miss when they have 2 losses, and I know they're like, oh, but it's the SEC and stuff. You go through their schedules, it's dog shit. Like who they beat. Like there's no one on there that you're like, oh, they deserve to be ahead of us with 2 losses.
So let me
sir.
Yeah.
I don't know what you over there drinking, but we cannot beat Alabama. We might can beat Georgia, and we definitely not beat Ole Miss.
Hold on a second. Alabama's wins are Western Kentucky, South Florida, Wisconsin. Georgia's their best win. I'll give them that. They lost to Vanderbilt, barely beat South Carolina. They get credit for that when they lost to Tennessee. And then they beat LSU, who's ranked because they only do that thing in the SEC where they feed on each other to increase their rankings and stuff. But it's not like you're looking at their schedule.
No, I think it's about the performance that people see week to week. And you can't be a top 10 team if you give up 150 rush yards in the first quarter against Georgia Tech. You're not going to be ranked in the top 10.
But hold on. But Georgia.
He's talking about SMU though.
I'm
also talking about Miami. He's saying that certain people shouldn't be in front of us.
I'm talking about the SEC teams that are. So Georgia has 2 losses. They barely beat Kentucky, and they're like gritty win. They get let's be honest. They get their ass handed to them by Alabama. I know they came back, but they were getting dominated. They barely eke out a couple more wins, and it's like Florida. They struggle with great gritty win. Then they lose to Ole Miss. You're still ahead.
I honestly think. What's happening right now in college football with this committee with 12 teams, what they're looking at is they're putting teams against teams instead of looking at records. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like they're saying, well, can Miami beat Georgia? Can Miami beat Alabama? Can Miami beat Ole Miss? No. In the committee's mind, I'm saying. So they're like, well, they should be in front of them when they're not supposed to do that. They should be going by what the record is and who you beat and things like that. But they're getting caught up in, I think they're already matching teams and guessing which team would win. And that's helping so much in the rankings where it was only 4 teams. It was like, these are the top 4. That's it.
Yeah. No, but you can't do that. If you did that, Penn State wouldn't be ranked.
Oh, no. I know. I get that.
It's just like, but then the LSU, they're like, good loss at home. You just got stomped at home by Alabama. We're going to keep you in the top 25. The SEC bias is just disgusting.
Everybody needs to go watch the Jalen Milroe highlights from the LSU game. And then picture Miami on defense trying to stop that.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that I agree with I agree with what Michael's saying. They're doing this. What if they played them? That's not how that works, though.
It's not how it works. Yeah.
And
so you're doing what the committee's doing right now.
Yeah, we're trying to get
doing what the committee's doing right now. Is like you telling me Miami's defense. It's not. You don't know. There's upsets every week. We don't know.
I think Miami should be ranked number 10. I don't think we should be outside of 10. I think we should be ranked number.
That's fair.
Can I tell you what I think we should be ranked?
Where?
14. We should flip with SMU. That's the way I saw it.
Yeah.
That's what I thought the committee was going to do. Is like, yo, SMU, the leader of the ACC. This is what made sense to me. SMU, leader of the ACC, only lost to BYU by 3. Why is Miami still in front of them when they lost to Georgia Tech? So hold on. So let's put them where SMU is and put SMU where Miami is. So now SMU is in the top 12 bracket, and then they'll play it out. And whoever wins is the first seed. That's
Okay,
to me, that's
from
their
From their own rankings. You can't be the number 4 team in the country, lose one game by 2 touchdowns, and drop to 14. I would have found somebody if they would have done that to us, because you can't.
But don't you think that makes more sense though?
No, it makes more sense to give SMU some credit and move them up and move other people up.
Okay.
Stop being on Georgia's nuts. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, Forrest.
I don't think Georgia's that good this year.
Notre Dame is not good. Like
I don't think Notre Dame is good. I don't think Georgia is good. I don't think LSU is good. I think
get me wrong. Yeah.
I think Texas, Ohio State, Indiana, and who's the number 1 team in the country right now?
Oregon.
And Oregon. Those are your dope teams right now.
But Notre Dame is 8 right now. They lost to Northern Illinois, who is currently 4-5.
Right.
If Miami lost to a 4-5 Northern Illinois team, we'd be out of the top 25 right now.
Well, we lost to a 5-4 Georgia Tech team.
I think they're 6-4 now, aren't they?
Yeah, after they beat us. But let me show you this. This is the comment I hate, and I hate to call out this listener. We're getting so many comments. Thank you for all the love. Leave your comments. We are absolutely live. Where is it? Hold on. Oh, this Mike Branley or Branelli. I hate this comment when I hear this. I hate when other teams say it. I hate when people on my end. We would be a 4-win team without Cam. Guess what? Kansas City wouldn't be Kansas City without Mahomes.
That is the dumbest comment.
The dumbest, Mike.
Can say in football, because it's not like if Cam Ward was McCormick's age, our tight end's age, and been in college for 9 years, I could see where people might say, y'all out there playing against Justin Herbert. You know what I mean? Y'all out there playing against, Aaron Rodgers. But no.
Yeah.
This guy came from a no ranking, no school, Washington State, and now he's in Miami, which was a very average team last year. And now he's unlocked the offense potential that we all knew was there because we're fans. We see it every day. And people want to hate on us because we got a transfer court. So Ohio State wouldn't be Ohio State without Will coming from Kansas State?
Yeah.
It's just the dumbest thing.
It's the dumbest comment ever. They're all college students.
I'll tell you this. This is a fact. If I was the starting quarterback for Miami, we'd have 0 wins. Just so you know.
100%.
Yeah. And somebody wrote in here, it said it's a Kane thing. If Miami was in the SEC and they lost the game, they would have only dropped 3 or 4 spots. The ACC, I'm not saying it's the best conference, but Louisville is solid. Clemson is good. Pittsburgh is good. SMU is. These are not shitty teams.
That's my point I was making, though. You can't drop us from 4 to 14 because we lost one game.
I understand.
Georgia will go from 1, lose a game, and then there'll be 3. You're like, oh, they
let's talk about this. Let's talk about this, Finesse, because I see some people talking about it in comments. Does Georgia steamroll, and this for Forrest and whoever wants to jump in, does Georgia steamroll Georgia Tech?
No. Not what I just saw.
No. Yeah.
As long as Beck is still the quarterback at Georgia, no. He starts slower than TVD.
You know what Beck is reminding me of? Little TVD.
He starts slower than TVD.
Mm-hmm.
You need 5 quarters for Beck to shine.
Now, just so you know, Georgia Tech, the previous 2 games to Miami, lost. They lost to Notre Dame 31-13, and they lost to Virginia Tech 21-6. They did not have Haynes King playing in that. And that
he's a beast, bro.
They did not. So anyone that wants to point to those 2 games, you can't point to them because it'd be like saying, the Cam Ward comment, like all over again. It's like they were missing a vital.
He's very fast.
Yeah.
He's decently accurate, but they don't really need him to throw the ball.
Yeah.
He can throw the ball about. And when they do throw the ball, it's such the loopiest pass, and they always catch us sleeping. They always catch us. They always get behind our defense, and all of a sudden, they do a bomb.
Our defense made that dude look like Lamar Jackson yesterday. I was so.
That's what he looked like.
Yeah, but just going back to the ACC, SEC. If you put Louisville in the SEC right now with the team they have, especially their offense, their defense is meh, but
like Miami.
their offense is they're no one's like steamrolling them, and that's the fourth, fifth best team in the SEC. They could go into Death Valley and beat that LSU team that I watched last night. They can compete with the Georgias and Alabamas,
Louisville can definitely compete with Georgia.
and that's what I'm just talking about with the ACC and the SEC. They're like, oh, there's no one in there. It's like, well, then come play us, because we played one SEC team this year and we destroyed them. That's arguably be our best game of the season right now, especially on defense. I know it's early on, but
who did? Who did Florida beat out of the SEC this year? Let me see. Florida.
Nobody.
Okay.
Nah, they've
been talking about beating.
Yeah.
So they beat Mississippi State. Let's see. Let's start with us. Mississippi State lost to Texas A&M. Mississippi State. They beat UCF. They barely lost to Tennessee 23-17. They beat Kentucky. Only lost by 14 to Georgia, and then got stomped by Texas. So,
and there's not a lot of comparison because I'm looking to see what ACC and SEC schools played. Obviously, Georgia just like whooped Clemson at the beginning of the year. I think it'd be a different game now, but it's just like,
this is what I got to say.
Yeah,
if Miami doesn't win the ACC, I'm telling you this right now, only one ACC team is getting in. Whoever wins the championship is getting in. And if you're a fan and you think Miami can play SMU in the championship game and lose, and they have 2 losses, they would take an SEC team with 3 losses over Miami. Trust me, bookmark it. Miami has to win the ACC chip to get into the playoffs, because we're only getting in one team. 100%, we are only getting in. The ACC is only getting in.
I would rather play Clemson. I don't want to see SMU.
But we not.
I don't want to see Rhett Lashley say, "Oh, they can't tackle, and I have an accurate quarterback, and I have 3 running backs."
Yeah, I don't think there's a scenario where we play unless SMU drops.
Well, if we do play SMU, Miami has to play Georgia Tech ball. Then we got to actually run the ball all over.
We got to run
hold the ball as long as possible. We got to play like Georgia Tech against SMU.
SMU has 3 games left: Boston College, Virginia, California. They'd have to lose 2 of those. I don't see that.
Well, Virginia lost to Pitt. I mean, here's the thing about
if everybody won out and we won out, who would we play?
SMU.
SMU. That's what I said.
What I'm saying is, I don't think it's a given that we win both games. I hope we do, but I really don't think it's a given that SMU wins those 3 games. Because remember, they almost lost to Duke, and Duke turned the ball over 6 times. I don't think SMU is still, even though they undefeated in conference, I still don't think they that good.
They look pretty good.
We just can't talk like that when we saw us play Georgia Tech. You know how many people would love to play Georgia Tech? I would love to get my win over Georgia Tech. And we could not handle Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
In front of a national audience, we could not stop the sweep. The most basic play in college football.
It was the Tecmo Bowl. Tecmo Bowl, the little pitch out, the little graph of the dude running around. Man. That's all it was.
You kept going to the
hat on a hat, and you just let the man run around the edge because the safety is going to make a missed tackle.
Well, I'll tell you what, too, is Vegas always knows as well, because we went from 21-point spread, 28-point spread, and they're like 10. You're like, huh? What's going on there? Like, so
I love where we are. I love the loss. I hope it motivates us. We was playing with fire for like 5 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
And it caught up with us. But we, like you said, we control our own destiny. You use the bye week. We usually play crappy out of a bye week. But hopefully this is that thing that just smacks everybody in the face. Like,
I hope so. But we week 11, man. You got what you got. It's kind of like what Guidry said. I hate what he said it, but the only thing I really like Guidry said, because he was so frustrated in the press conference, he said, we got what we got. And I do believe that. I did not like the other comments he made. But when he said we got who we got, that's him saying, this ain't changing.
Right.
This is the world we live in. What's crazy to me is Dawson and Guidry flipped. Last year was opposite. So now the other coach is seeing the other coach being in all these press conferences getting heated. So I don't think it gets better. I just want, look, they're not going to be able to tackle open field. We know that. And we said this every podcast. They will miss open field tackles. Our linebacker play will be suspect. Our
Right.
front four now, hopefully, I still have faith in them that they'll come through in big moments.
You know
But-
what I hate to say, Michael?
What?
And I'm a fan of this guy. I'm a fan of this guy. We would be a better defense without number one in the middle. I just have to say it. I mean, when you miss that many tackles and take that many angles and you're a weak link in coverage, and you have those younger guys, that 22, 21, Chase Smith, you got Popo, you got all these people that can play middle linebacker, and we leave number one on the field for the majority of the game. And it hurts us, man. He's not having a good year. Yeah. It hurts us when your middle linebacker can't dissect a sweep, take an angle where you shoot a lane and you cut it off.
I did like the play of Alderman. He had some big.
Now that number 21 can ball. He can hit. He sees the field. He's instinctive. It makes a difference. That number 22 from Alabama, that little skinny kid that wants to play linebacker, he can play. Mm-hmm. Chase Smith is a thumper. And with that being said, this is the buildup. Let's get to it. That was a targeting on Moten.
Oh my God! No, it was not.
Yes, it was.
No, it was not. It was not. This is what. Look. So this is my point. I said, look, I don't have the pictures.
I sent you the picture.
Yes. But the pic. Look. The picture was Moten's head, or who? I think it was Moten, right?
You sent me a picture of Moten with his head to the side, kissing the dude on the cheek.
No, I sent you a picture of his face mask in the dude's chest.
And I sent you a picture.
Targeting.
And what was my picture that I sent you?
His head was down in his chest.
His head was down in his chest.
So my question to you,
crown of his helmet.
No.
And
my question to you was, if he had his head down and he hit him in the leg, is that targeted?
Come on, Forrest. Let this man know that the NCAA does not look at shoe tackles, leg tackles. You get your hand hit with somebody's helmet as targeting. What they're trying to protect is somebody getting struck to the body and
the head. That's where you're wrong. It's the head. It's not the body.
Listen, Michael. There's that using the crown of your helmet or hitting somebody in the head when they are defenseless. It's not just hitting somebody in the head with your helmet.
You are so wrong. See, now
look up targeting.
This is what you just did. Finesse. This is what you just did. You took this part of the head that they really care about, and now you moved it to all of this. And then why not let's play flag. Let's play flag football.
Using the top of your helmet to strike into somebody's body is targeting. And also using your helmet to hit somebody in the head is targeting.
So hitting someone,
it's not just your head.
So why is it when we see people put their head down all the time and hit people in the legs, that's not targeting? It's part of the body.
Because a lot of times, bro, if somebody hits their head into your leg, they're gonna break your leg. A lot of times what you see is the people hitting their
how many times do you see defensive back
launch flying? They launch
at receivers in the legs, launching.
Yes.
And Moten did not launch. He didn't launch. He ran into the dude without launching. Perfect form tackle.
No, it wasn't. It was targeting.
Oh my God.
This is what it's defined as. This says the rule prohibits players from initiating forcible contact against an opposing player that could be leading with the crown of the helmet while making forcible contact or making forcible contact with the head or neck area of a defenseless player opponent with the helmet.
See, neck or head. It has nothing to do with the body. He just read the rules.
Is there a comma in there?
Oh my God, is there a comma?
No, there's no comma.
You sound like Joe Rogan right now. If they find a fact on this podcast that he don't like, he goes, "Are you looking at the right fact?" Come on now.
I don't know your man like that. Y'all been rocking a long time. I got to look it up for myself now.
Michael, do me a favor. Forward me that picture that Finesse sent you. We'll put it up so you guys can see it.
Yeah, and let me forward you mine too, because that was a perfect. You know what?
There is.
Look. Okay, can I read it? Can I read mine?
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'm reading mine. The NCAA targeting rule states that no player shall target and make forcible contact against an opponent with the crown of their helmet. Period.
That's what I was going to say. I'm reading further down.
Hold on. No. So no,
Michael, did you hear what I just said? Period.
Yeah, I did.
And then it says, it also says no player shall target and make forcible contact to the head or neck area. That's what I said. It's two different things, Mike.
See, you were
I just read it to you
the wrong way. You were spinning this the wrong way.
I just read it to you.
Is no head down to the neck or head, right? So, like I said, why isn't it a penalty when somebody hits somebody with the crown of the head and the hip in the leg? Because we see we see defensive backs launching at receivers on the sideline when they run out of bounds all the time.
I think this is the best way to look at it. This is the best.
I know how to clear this all up.
No, but I think that I was reading further down, just so you know, and I think this is the best way to look at it. The person has to hit with the crown of their helmet, and the player has to be defenseless.
The person has to be defenseless.
Yeah, that guy was not defenseless. He had his
helmet halfway off already. He was spinning around. Now listen. Now this one I will agree with you with. Moten did not see any of that. Moten's just making a tackle. But the guy had his back turned. His helmet was almost off because Bain face
Perfect form. Thank you, Rudy. Perfect form tackle.
Listen, that is not how he went into the guy. That is the impact, and your body is going to move.
Here's the other parts of the rules. If a player launches himself, that's one thing. Here's another thing. If a player crouches before making a tackle to create maximum force, you can't do that.
Well, don't you have to crouch to avoid the head?
I'm not disagreeing that what you're saying, but I'm telling you what the rules say. I'm just saying what they say.
Mike, put up my picture, Mike.
Huh?
Put up my picture.
I just did. Put up that picture again, Rudy. Perfect.
No, my picture.
Okay, that's the one. That's the one.
Okay, everybody look at that picture. His helmet is still on. This is the point of impact.
Yeah.
His head is going straight into this man's chest.
Yeah.
Chest is targeting.
Keyword.
Now listen, Michael, let me tell you how I know I'm right. What if he was coming off the edge and Cam Ward had his back turned and the man put his helmet right into the middle of his back? You would say, wait a minute, that's targeting. You wouldn't say, but he didn't hit him in the head.
I would not say that's targeted.
If the man come off the edge and Cam has his back turned and he hits
and Cam still has the ball
his head down into the middle of his back,
and Cam still has the ball,
and he uses the crown of his helmet and goes
Cam
right into the middle of his back. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what you're it's not targeted.
So what is it called?
It's called a tackle.
If I hit you with my helmet in the middle of your back, you don't think that's targeting?
No.
Forrest, say something, bro. Don't do me like that.
No. Because the thing finesse keeps hold on. Don't say anything, Forrest. The thing finesse won't answer. And he keeps avoiding. If this man hit this guy in the top with the top of his head in the leg, is it targeting? Yes or no?
It's a broken leg.
Is it targeting? Yes or no?
If he hits him in the top.
No, not you, Forrest. Okay. I'm talking to finesse. Okay. Is it targeting?
Listen, if the man sees him, okay, I'm going to answer it.
Okay.
If a running back is coming towards you and you're coming toward that running back and you go low, that's not targeting because that man is not defenseless.
Even if it's the crown of your head.
Even if it's the crown of your head. Because the man sees you coming.
So to me, that running back was not defenseless. He got hit by another guy. He was spinning. You don't know.
See Moten coming. Moten saw him. Moten put his head down and rammed right into his chest.
That is so ridiculous. That is so ridiculous.
Okay. Do y'all remember the California game?
Yeah.
Anthony Bassett did not target that dude, but that dude did not see Bassett coming. And that's why the impact was like,
so now we got to care about if the opponent sees you coming.
Yeah, a defenseless player, somebody.
He was not defenseless. He taking steps with the ball, finesse.
I just want to say this. I've read a couple pages of different sites now about targeting. And it gives me a newfound respect for the referees because there's so many variations in there and so many the defenses, the crown, this part of the body, that I understand why it's a controversial call all the time. I understand why it's difficult for the referees to do. If you're asking me, in my opinion, is that a tackle? In my world of what I think football should be, yeah, it's a tackle. But if you're asking me what by the rules are, I can see why that.
But it's not even in the rules. If you're not going to withhold a player hitting a person with the front of their head in the leg, it should not be the chest.
Listen,
that's what my point is. If you're not going to defend it in the leg, it should not be in the chest. It should be neck and up. If you're not going to defend it, like the chest is part of the body, like the leg is.
Yeah. Well.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as you know the rule says you can't hit somebody with the crown of your helmet. Period.
Yes. Well, so, but you're saying they wouldn't call it if it was in the leg. So why are you going to make an exception for the leg and the chest?
You want to know why they don't call it? Because when a DB comes up and smacks somebody in their legs go flying out from under them. It's usually the force of them running through the person that actually flips them. If somebody hits
which is a launch, because they're diving, they're launching at a player.
They launch all day, but a lot of times people go down to your feet to flip you. If you hit somebody with your helmet in the leg and your leg is planted, you have just broken somebody's leg.
Okay, I'm done with this conversation.
Let me just tell you, just to change it up. If you want to feel really bad about a call, and I'll just switch it up here, watch the end of the BYU-Utah game, and you won't feel bad about your team at all.
I saw that.
That Utah coach lit it on fire in the press conference. He goes, I was enjoying being in the Big 12, but not anymore. Like that holding call, that sequence was bananas. And I'm not going to go play for play, but watch the last series or the last drive of BYU's. And that's a team that is undefeated still. Probably shouldn't be. What a bunch of bullshit calls they got at the end.
Oh, well, look at the Jacoby George. Those G Tech people were holding our receivers all over the place. Oh, look, we got to go because I know Rudy got a show, but he got to perform at Brad Garrett's tonight. But I just want to give a big shout out to everybody at Madison, Wisconsin. I mean, this sold out 4 of the 5 shows, sold over 1,300 tickets. You guys came out. Thank you. It was amazing. Finesse, where you at?
Man, I am in La Jolla at the Comedy Store, your stomping grounds, where you did amazing. So if you could send out my flyer on your feed to tell
I will. Send it to me. Send it to me. I will.
Okay. I'm at La Jolla November. Where's Saturday? No, where's November? Anyway, it's November 20th through the 22nd. I'm at the Comedy Store in San Diego, La Jolla.
Okay, send me the info so I can put it out there. We'll put it on the podcast too. Forrest, where you at?
I'm in New York this week. I'm at the New York Comedy Festival. This Thursday, I have a show. That's the only show I really care if you come to. I mean, I want you to come on, but this is my solo show. It's November 14th at the New York Comedy Club. Please come to that. That's going to be fun. And ForrestShaw.net, my other dates on.
All right, Rudy, where you at?
I'm at Brad Garrett's tonight, MGM Grand, Las Vegas, and then taking next week off to move to Las Vegas. And then the following week, you can catch me in New Jersey with you, East Brunswick at the Stress Factory. And then the last week, Thanksgiving, I'm going to be at House of Comedy Minneapolis with Steve Burns. So just go to rudypavichcomedy.com for dates.
All right. All my stuff is out there, michaelyoga.com. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Finesse, you're wrong, but I still appreciate you popping on the podcast.
hey, before we go, real quick, I wanted to show this photo. I showed this to Michael today. If there is one photo that the Miami Hurricane should post inside of the locker room to fire everybody up this week, over the next 2 weeks, look at this photo of the kid from Georgia Tech.
That is such a great photo, man. That's a great photo.
I can't be mad at that guy. I can't be mad at
him either.
Yeah.
And can I just say one thing? Because we was talking about analytics. Sometimes you say, our quarterback is feeling himself. He's acting different. All this Heisman hype is getting to him.
I never said that.
Well, sometimes people say that.
Yeah.
I've heard it. If we expect Cam to not do Cam things, we got to also, somebody was saying earlier, I forgot which one said it, but you just can't keep going for it every time it's 4th down just because you got Cam.
Forrest did, yep.
You got to get out of your feelings and stop saying nobody can stop this offense. Clearly, people have been stopping the offense. So just take the safe points.
All right. Hey, everybody have a nice day. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you. It's all about the you. We still here, baby. 9-1. We proud. We proud, baby. Let's go.
We can't lose next week.
All right, cool, guys.